I stood before Titania, and then decided that might be a little forward, so I took a knee. No sense getting off on the wrong foot with a new employer. Queen Titania, Lady of Light and Life, Queen of Evergreen, it was I who slew the night. I saw her anger rising. Don't let anyone tell you that summer isn't a season that can kill you, and lifted my hands as the power crackled inside of me in kind. But, I had just cause to do so. Titania looked at me hotly, clearly doubting it. And you will be given a chance to speak your piece, Knight. You will return to Summer Hall with me and my sister, and you will answer for your crimes. That didn't sound like such a good idea. Once I was in Summer Hall, Titania could just quietly disappear me, and no one was going to say anything about it. The lady wouldn't be at full strength for some time, and I would be stuck in Fae for God knew how long. There was also the matter of needing her to corroborate my story. And I realized that would be my out. That is a fine invitation, my queen. May I bring my friends with me, though? I will need their testimony to prove the truth of my words. The lady was a witness to the actions of Wysanther, and I will need her to speak for me on this matter. Titania gritted her teeth. She clearly had wanted to get me alone so she could assess my worth in private and perhaps be rid of me. Bringing others into this would complicate things, but she could hardly decline. To do so would invite speculation that my trial had been little more than a kangaroo court, and Titania would want to avoid any questions about the validity of my likely execution when I was found guilty. If there was one thing I had learned from sitting in on monthly council meetings, it was that the Fae and the residents of Fae were big on rules and intrigue. Very well. You and the lady may come with us to Summer Hall. Further, I will bring your friends to bear witness that justice was properly served. Come, she commanded, and I felt myself moving forward without meaning to. The lady rose, slowly, but she did rise, and followed. The Gordling was in her arms, nuzzling at her and looking at me with his worried little eyes. If a little pumpkin was worried for my chances, then I felt maybe I should be a little more afraid, too. We went through the doorway that she had come through, and the Brandylow came behind us. I suppose that Randy had been listening, and he organized them and told the newer ones to be quiet and respectful. They were silent as they stepped from the dank cave in Arkansas to a warm and welcoming hall in a pocket of Fae. Summer Hall was a place I had been once or twice before, and it was a riot of flowers and moss and trees and greenery. The whole place reminded me of a house left in the woods to be reclaimed, and I'd always enjoyed coming here. It was nice and eternally warm, and it made me feel peaceful in a way I hadn't since I was a child. It did until that very moment, at least. Titania's summer fae had assembled, and I could see satyrs and centaurs standing beside brownies and gnomes. There were dryads and forest spirits, a few of the tree guardians that were even older than the ones we had in the park, and as well as a smattering of Tolkien-esque humanoids like dwarves and elves and such. They circled us, hemming us in like we might escape, and they did not look friendly. Titania lifted her hand, and a dais of wood and moss rose for she and Mab to sit upon. Now, she said, her voice still as hot as a summer heat wave, speak your truth and we will hear it. We will hear, and we will judge. Gulp. May I begin by saying that regardless of the outcome, my friends and my lady are blameless in these matters. Randy and his group of Brandylow were searching for the lady, who had been kidnapped by the Green Man. They were there to rescue her, and they took no part in my actions." "Noted," Titania said, and I imagined that I could hear her jaw click. "Now, present your evidence, Knight." I nodded, clearing my throat as I continued. "I was in the cave to rescue the lady. I had come with an artifact that would help me find her, and we did, as you can see. When I attempted to free her, I was attacked by Wysanther. And did you attempt to parley with my knight or kill him outright? Wysanther was also searching for your lady, and there may have been a mistake. My apologies, my queen. It was a little hard to parley when someone was trying to cut my head off. But she cut me off." "So you admit that you made no attempt to speak with him?" "He knew us," I said, adding, "my queen," just in the nick of time. "How do you know? You spoke no words to him, by your own admission," Mab said slyly. I got the impression that she knew what was happening, and she was enjoying the show too much to spoil it. "He spoke to us. I did attack him. That much is true." "And with cold iron, no less," Titania added, sounding horrified. "But it was in defense of my mistress. I defended her with the same fervor you would expect your knight to defend you." Titania sat back a little at that, chewing it over. "It is impressive that you slew a member of my court, one imbued with a measure of my power, with nothing but a club and good luck. Impressive, but it still doesn't answer how you know he was with the Green Man." I started to tell her, but it appeared that my witness was ready to speak. "He told us," the lady husked, clutching the Gordling tight as he trembled. "Lady," Titania began, some of her anger ebbing, "you needn't strain yourself. We know how much you have suffered these past few months." "She absolutely dideth," I thought to myself, but the lady pressed on. "I must, or you'll put my friend to death. Wysanther attacked him when he tried to free me. Once he had thrown him off, he turned to deal with me, and I asked him why he would do such a thing. He said it was..." She hesitated, trying to gather her strength and make the accusation. "He said it was because of you, though not at your command. He said he had worried over you much in the past many years. He said you were afraid I would take your power. My queen, I would never do such a thing. I am your guest here. You took me in when no one else would. You are my queen and my friend. I would never seek to wrong you." Titania sucked in a breath and seemed taken aback by this. "Is this true, knight? Did my old knight speak so?" "He did. He accused her of planning treason and said it was his duty to end her treasonous plans. As her defender, it was my job to stop him." "By any means necessary?" Titania asked. "As he would defend you, yes," I countered. "So you killed him?" "As he nearly killed me," I said, tapping my chest where the sword wound likely lay. "And now you stand before me, bedecked in his power. He was also allied with the Green Man, someone who has been cast out of Fae at the agreement of you and Queen Mab." Titania raised an eyebrow at that. "I suppose he told you that, too." "He did. He claimed responsibility for placing the lady in a statue as well. He admitted to sealing her away with his own lips." Titania nodded. "When I heard she had been sealed away, I suspected as much. I believed the Green Man had used winter magic on her, but I should have looked closer to home, I suppose." She looked at Mab, the two deliberating quietly, before turning back to me. This still doesn't free you from the responsibility of killing my knight, Titania said, or for stealing his power. I stole no power, I began, but she put a hand up to stop me. Whether stealing it was your intention or not, you stole it. The power of the knight is not something that is won through combat, not for many, many centuries, and by accepting it, you have stolen my right to choose a new knight. Which was not my intention, I said again, getting scared now. If they saw this as theft, then I could be in for a lot of trouble. That is irrelevant, Mab spat, clearly growing bored. Whether you meant to take it or not is moot. You have it, and we cannot take it from you so long as you live. There was silence for a moment, the words dropping over us like cold rain. What does that mean? I asked, afraid of the answer. It means you must surrender the power and your life, Titania said. She had the good grace to look ashamed as she said it, at least. The crowd, however, had started to come towards us. They had weapons, more weapons than I had, and I knew that I'd be buried if they decided to charge. Titania was getting ready to drop the might of the Summer Fae on me, and there was very little I could do about it. Hold, the lady said, her voice raspy but confident. Queen Titania, it is my understanding that the Lady of Summer chooses her knight. Is that not correct? Titania slitted her eyes. It is. However, as you know, I have no Lady of Summer. She was, unfortunately, killed a few years ago, and I have yet to name another. You have not named a Lady of Summer, but you have offered it. And was refused, Titania said, her temper rising. I will accept it, if you would still have me. I will become your summer lady, and officially join your court, if I may pick my knight, which is the custom. Titania rolled her eyes. Such theatrics. I accept your appointment. Come, kneel before me, and pledge your fealty. I shall grant you your name and titles as befit your station. The lady handed me the gordling and knelt before Titania. Power passed between them. I could feel it. And when she rose, the court cheered and hailed the new Lady of Summer. I suppose you have a knight in mind, she asked, leaning her cheek on her hand as she flicked a hand at me. I do. I will be keeping your current knight. Sam will remain my knight of summer and stay by my side to protect me. So spoken, so it may be. Sam, stand before me and pledge your fealty. The lady and I exchanged the happy little pumpkin again, and I drew my sword and knelt before the fairy queen. Do you swear to serve the Summer Fae as their champion, to heed my command, and to protect my people in my name? I do, I intoned. Do you swear to fight those who would stand against me, whoever they may be? I do. Then rise, Knight of Summer, and be welcome. The cheers weren't as loud as they had been for the lady, but they were a welcome change from the noises that had preceded them. It appeared that, for better or worse, I had taken on some new and interesting job responsibilities. Tobias looked up expectantly as we stepped into the grow house, but his eyes grew wide when he saw my armor and the gown of summer flowers worn by the lady. The 24 brandy-low that came with us didn't hurt either, and as they spilled out into the park, Randy staying behind with us, the old goat laughed and shook his head. It appears that you have found more than the lady in that cave. I shrugged. You could say that. He turned to the lady, and I could see his eyes grow wet as he embraced her. You finally took Titania up on her offer, I see. It was time. As an official member of the court, the Green Man will think twice about bothering us in the future. Titania has given me leave to make this place my home. though I'm sure that she will call Sam and I often. She is quite furious with me for using her offer as an excuse to save someone she had labeled a thief, but she will over it." "I have no doubt," Tobias said. "Well, I know you have more pressing matters to attend to, but we really must talk about getting the park back into its former glory. I have some ideas about our spring event. If you'll follow me over here, I'll..." As soon as he led her off to the whiteboards that he had scribbled on in the corner, Randy put a hand on my shoulder and smiled. "Imagine, about 2 years ago, you were a wet-behind-the-ears security guard, and now you command the armies of summer. As far as glow-ups go, kid, this is a big one." I laughed. True. To think my parents said I'd never amount to anything. I closed my eyes, just as the lady had shown me, and my armor vanished, replaced by something a little less made of fairy metal. "It's good to be back," Randy said, taking a snootful of air as we came out of the grow house and into the park. "What will you do now?" I asked him. He smiled. "I think I'm going to go find a nice shady spot and have a nap. I've earned some time off, I think." I joined him, and we spent the afternoon with him telling me about his travels. It was good to have him home, and weirdness or not, it was good to be home again.
You're still here. Thanks for stopping by. Dr. Plague here. Always a pleasure to see all my new and old viewers coming by for another one of my spooky tales. If you'd like to support the show, you can always take part in one of our channel offers through Fume or Aura, or you can just click on another video when they come up. I'd really appreciate it. For our newer viewers, we also have lots of playlists and other things if you'd like to get caught up. I know some of my series have been going on for quite a while. If you'd like to get my latest book, there's a link down below that'll take you to my Amazon page. Towesey Homestead just came out, so if that's something you'd like to get your hands on, go ahead and have a look down there. If you'd like a signed copy, you can go ahead and email me from my email address on the site, and I'll get with you about shipping information and ship you a signed copy. If you'd like to support the channel in a more monetary fashion, we also have membership through YouTube, and we've got a Patreon that you can get the information for in the description. We have lots of tiers and everything to suit your needs. Patrons that support on the $10 tier, that's our Ghostly Reader tier, get a book anytime I write one, signed and on their doorstep. As you may have noticed, there's a list of patrons and members on the screen, and I'd like to personally thank every one of them for taking a hand in the future of this channel. Well, that's enough for tonight. Dr. Plague, signing off. Have a wonderful evening.